What's up everyone, and welcome back. My name is Zach Anderson, and today I'm going to show you how in just 10 steps you can manage your own properties from out of state if you choose to do so. Let me start off by saying, if you're out of state, or in some cases even in state, I do not recommend owners managing their own properties. However, if you want to, I'm going to show you how to do it. So let's dive in. Before I get to step number one, let me just let you know, number 10 is the most important, so make sure you keep that in mind. Number one, find an on-the-ground contact that can handle leasing and other things that may come about. Maybe repair requests, you need to get a contractor inside, whatever the case is. You're gonna want someone on the ground because you're not there that can handle odds and ends stuff every once in a while when they come about. A good place to start would be the agent that sold you the property, but if they're not willing to do it, just ask for a recommendation. They probably know a new agent that just got started and is trying to make a little bit of extra money. It'll save you, a decent amount than going to a management company, which is what you're trying to do if you're managing your own properties in the first place. But if you're out of state or far away from the location, you're definitely going to want to have someone on the ground in place before you take on your own management. Number two is just as important as number one. And especially, again, if you're out of state, all of these steps need to be in place before you go ahead and commit to managing your own property. I highly suggest you go to the area and have all of these things in place in the location that you're going to be investing consistently in before you take this on. But number two is finding a network of contractors to handle repairs as fast as possible. Legally, in Florida anyway, you have 24 hours to complete most repairs. You're going to want to do it a lot sooner than that to keep your tenants happy. Make sure you have that network in place. Number three is going to save you a lot of headaches. Number three is opening a local bank account for your tenants to go and place their monthly rent in. I can promise you, if you decide to do rent collection through mail-in rent, PayPal even, you're going to have a ton of late rent. PayPal is great and all, but it does charge a fee for the person going in and making the transaction for the rent. So they're not going to be too happy if their rent's $700 and they're paying $725, $735 every month. So the easiest thing to get around on that issue is to just open a local bank account. You can use one of the big banks, but somewhere that's close to the properties, or if you have a collective amount of properties that are in a general area, kind of find one right in the middle that has multiple branch locations so that it's easy for all your tenants to make rent. Number four, especially for my out-of-state investors, find a service that can handle your evictions. There's tons of legal services out there that can do it. Even a lawyer, a paralegal that works in a lawyer's office, that a lot of them for extra money will do evictions, which is totally fine. But remember, you're going to want to make sure that you ask those people if they are going to see it from start to finish, not just write it up. Keep in mind also in Florida, there are counties, their courthouses require in-person evictions. So, if you're out of state, that's going to be impossible. So you're going to need someone that is going to be able to, from start to finish that eviction. They already take about 30 to 40 days. The last thing you want is to prolong them because you didn't pick the right service. So make sure that you have a company in place to handle your evictions and that they're going to go through processing and all the way to final judgment to the sheriff removing them from the property. That way it's being handled no matter how far away you are. Number five, find a photographer and a videographer. A lot of them do the same thing. Some photographers will do video as well. You may have to get two different ones. Now, if the person that you hire that's on the ground to do the leasing is savvy enough with tech, they can do this for you as far as getting leasing photos and video walkthroughs. I can tell you from being far away, you're definitely going to want to do this. And even if you weren't, I can tell you this, my managed properties, I'll show you a clip right here. I do this for all of my managed property leasing listings because that usually limits the amount of showings that I have to do before I get a contract in, and there is a way around doing showings before getting contracts in. You can each leasing contract, you can put a contingency in for the tenant if they don't feel comfortable fully committing without seeing it in person at least once, but they're committed based on your video walkthrough. Then you can put a contingency in there that shows as long as they get access 24 hours after signing the lease agreement and they approve of the unit and it is in the condition that the video shows it's in, then they can move forward. And you also put in the contingency, don't forget, 24 hours for the first for a one-time showing of approval, but also 24 hours to get the deposit in after signing. So that eliminates any issues there. Video walkthroughs are the best way to lease properties, in my opinion. In most areas in Florida, we're renting properties within the first 48 to 72 hours, and the video definitely is a testimony to why that is. Number 6, you'd think that this would go in number 2 with finding a network of contractors, but it doesn't because it's specific. Finding a landscaping company that will take before and after date stamped pictures. If you're out of state and you can't check up on the lawn every couple of weeks when they're supposed to be mowing it, but they're still charging you, you're gonna have a problem. And I can tell you, it's not as easy as you would think to find a landscaping company that'll do before and after pictures. For whatever reason, they don't like doing it. I don't know why, but that's just the way it is. So make sure that you have that in place before you go ahead and start managing your own properties from out of state or from a remote location far away from the property. Number 7 is very important for your sanity. Buy a automated phone call service to answer tenant calls. I can tell you they're gonna come at all different times of the day. They're gonna come at 9 o'clock, they're gonna come at 12 a.m. in the morning. They're going to come at 1 in the morning, 3, you're going to get them all the time. So find a automated service that'll answer those phone calls, take the message so that you can just get a transcript of the phone call and then send out the contractors to do what needs to be done. Number 8, this is another thing that a management company would do for you, but you're managing your own properties and that's what you want to do. So you're going to buy a quality CRM, or if you're really good at Excel, make a very detailed, organized list or spreadsheet, is what I mean to say, for rent collection and for your profit loss statements at the end of the year. You are going to need that, and it helps a lot to keep all of your tenants organized and their rent collections organized when you start building a bigger portfolio. Number 9. As you can see, I have some out here. Buy a ton of combination lock boxes. I prefer that, if I'm thinking on the standpoint of me being out of state, I prefer have them wall mounted on the properties, and just send them to your contact that you found in step 1. Have them put them out. This can come in handy for leasing if you're going to put the lease or the listings for the lease on MLS. Other agents can use them. They're great. They're cheap. And you don't have to worry about people taking them either, because the thing is, 1, they're a lot more durable than you would think, but 2, most agents are going to be using for showings for purchasing houses, listing homes and all that kind of stuff. They're going to be using electric boxes. So these are mostly used for property management anyway. So just use them, buy them in bulk, and then send them to your contact so that contractors can get in, because I can assure you tenants are going to say they're not home or whatever the case is, and you can't go let a contractor in because you're not there. And what if you're on the ground tenant contact person or on the ground agent is not available on that particular day or time? You're going to need to be able to get those contractors in. So these are a very cheap way to do it, and it's very secure and safe. You can buy these on Amazon. They're super cheap, and you can buy the wall mounts as well. I would recommend buying both. You never know what you're going to need them for, so just buy them, have them ready, and then send them to your on-the-ground contact. And number 10, finally we made it. And this, like I said in the beginning of the video, is the most important step, and you're going to want to listen up. Now remember, you wanted to manage your own properties. You didn't want to pay that pesky 8% to 10% management fee monthly. So you were going to want to buy in bulk Excedrin or Tylenol or Advil, whatever it is that you use to defeat migraines, because I can tell you step 1 through 10 is almost not going to be enough. Even if it's not done 100% perfectly and you don't have everything in order before you take on your portfolio by yourself, you're going to have a lot of migraines, and it is going to be very frustrating. So That was just a little joke for number 10, but I'm kind of serious. If it's not done correctly, you will have lots of migraines and frustration. So make sure you buy it in bulk, go to Sam's, go to Costco, wherever you're at. Make sure you have that stuff put away. There you have it, guys. I kept my promise. Steps 1 through 10 for managing your own properties when you're out of state or you're in a remote location far away from your portfolio. Now you have an opportunity to have something in place if you really don't want to use management. But if you decided that these steps were too much for you and you do want to use a management company, make sure you treat them well and be nice to them, because as you can see, it's a lot of work and there's a ton more that I didn't even come close to mentioning. So the job's hard, and it is what it is. My guess is most people do it for a few months, manage it themselves, and say, I don't want to do this anymore. But anyway, guys, it was a fun video. I appreciate you watching. If you stuck around, please hit that like button. It helps me a lot with the YouTube algorithms, and subscribe if you want more content, and I'll see you next time.